How much people commit adultery?
Many people.
Yeah.
Is that a good or bad thing?
How much people steal?
Hold on, is adultery good or bad?
It depends on situations.
Situation.
If you have a disabled partner, you know, a man can only hold so long.
So you're saying
or
that
vice
someone,
versa,
so you're saying
you
if
know,
someone's disabled that
and
they have the right to now
wanna-
have sex with
you want
someone
a
else's
child.
wife. Hold on, sis. Adultery is having sex with another man's wife. So you're saying
but God will forgive you. There's in certain situations.
no? Give me that.
In certain situations.
Yeah, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13.
Read.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
What are we teaching? What's the meaning of life? Does God give us religion? Read.
The
What is it?
Bible is very contradictory. Yeah?
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13.
Read.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
What is the meaning of life? What's the meaning of I? What did Christ teach? What does God want us to do? Read.
Fear God.
Fear God. You're supposed to fear God, meaning fear his judgment. Meaning, if same way, if I don't teach for something from the shop, I fear that I'm gonna go prison. If you do something against God, like adultery, if you commit adultery, no, but listen, I know, but I don't make it justified. That's like saying,
If you've got kids to feed, yeah, and you've got no money,
trust in the Lord.
really
Read.
desperate.
So
Yeah?
no, just
Some
like
people are
adultery.
tempted to
But
do
sister,
that.
if you commit
Sex,
adultery,
right?
guess what the judgment will be for adultery? Death. Do you know what kind of death? You could get an STD.
No, sorry.
Do you understand? Read.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
That is what we're out here teaching, and that's the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to keep God's commandments. The meaning of life is to not kill. The meaning of life is to not steal. The meaning of life is not to have sex with someone else's wife. No matter what the circumstance is, don't do it, because you will get judged for it in the end. Read.
Let me say something.
For this is the whole duty of man.
This is the meaning of why we're here. Read. Read all it. Yeah.
Verse 14. For God shall bring work into judgment.
God shall bring every work into judgment. Everything you do, he's going to judge you for it. If you have sex with another man's wife, he's going to, oh wait, the law said this. But God, I needed to do it because they were disabled.
You have a partner,
Death.
and for some reason there's something not quite right with one of you.
One.
Yeah?
One.
Low sperm count or whatever. Yeah? And
Well,
hard to conceive.
give me that about Abraham.
Yeah.
Abraham and
Sometimes
Sarah. But listen,
the woman might be tempted to go with
Abraham and
another man because she wants a child.
Abraham,
Vice versa.
listen.
Yeah.
Give me that about let the woman learn in silence. First Timothy
Yeah.
2:11.
Yeah.
First Timothy 2:11. Sis, you need to listen. You can talk.
I'm listening.
But when I'm talking, don't over talk.
And people think I'm a
First Timothy.
Yeah? I'm not
Chapter,
puppet.
First Timothy chapter 2 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Learn to listen to the Bible, to God, yeah? Not to get onto you, but this is why we remember, the Satan went to Eve, she brought, so learn. Men are the leaders, just learn, listen, trust me, it's better for you. I got you, I hear you, I'm trying to answer you. So now you said, what if the man has a low sperm count, right? And he can't have children.
Could be the other way around.
Both, vice versa. But when you read in the Bible, I don't know if you know about the story of Abraham and Sarah. They couldn't have children at one time. He had children when he's 90 plus years old. Do you understand? So you got to trust in God. God says, don't do something, trust what he says to do. For example, I lost a job the other day. I could have went out and stole or sold drugs. I fasted, I prayed. The same day, by the afternoon, I got a job. So you got to trust in what God says to do. Don't trust in Satan. Do you understand? So now, read on.
Sometimes people get tempted by Satan.
But that's why we
get tempted.
But that's why we got to overcome. That's why we got to... Remember, Christ was tempted. Matthew 4. Is it Matthew 4?
If you get yourself in a bad situation, you're going to probably need Satan in that situation. Yeah, that's all I can say.
You will get...
I don't...
No, but you will get into certain situations, but you must overcome the temptation, because guess what? At the end of it is death. There's going to be a day of judgment where you're going to get judged for those things. It's a test. Remember what happened with Job? Didn't Job, he got tempted by... Give me that. Let's get that. Job chapter 1.
Jesus
Job chapter 1 verse 6.
Devil as well, you know.
Like I just mentioned. Job chapter 1 verse 6.
You know,
Job 101. Hold on, Job 101. Job 101.
Job chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job.
So now this is a man who was Job. I'm not even going to use Christ because people say, oh, that was Christ. He was so perfect. But guess what, read?
And that man was perfect and upright,
So there was a man other than Jesus who was perfect.
and one that feared God.
He feared God. Why? He said, listen, I fear God. God can put me to death. And it's not just a physical death. I'm talking about eternal damnation, burning forever and ever and ever. Read.
And eschewed evil.
He eschewed evil. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to prevent themselves before the Lord.
But this is in the heavens. The angels, the spirits in heaven, they came to the Most High God, who is a so-called black man, read.
And Satan came also among them.
So while they were there, the angels were there with God, Satan came among the angels. So now that's cast down the doctrine that Satan's in hell and blah, blah, blah. Now Satan always goes up and down, read.
Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, when hence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So now Satan said he's going to and fro on the earth and from walking. Because I could give you an example. A man could say, wow, I need to rape because I just needed to. This is my circumstance. I ain't had nothing in the lot. Is that right? Can he do? I'm asking, because he said sometimes you can.
People do it.
But is it right though?
The system, you know, they could burst like some, you know.
But is it right?
Tentacles, you know what I mean? Rupture, it's not released.
So he can't.
Painful.
No, but what he can't. He can't release it in another way. Does he have to grab someone up and?
No, that's not right. I'm not condoning it.
That's my point.
Yeah,
I get you, but that's my. Even children. Some people say that they were born as pedophiles. That's what they're arguing. They're trying to argue that. You see how they say homosexuals are born homosexuals, and this is how they are. So they were trying to argue the other day that pedophiles are born that way. So some of them might say, nah, but it happened to her and I got this feeling, I just love. Is that right? Can they touch a child because of that?
Some people do.
But that's my point, it's evil. But guess what? Satan's roaming up.
They're weak in the mind. Weak in the mind.
That's why you got to be strong.
Whatever.
But you got to be strong in this. So my point is, Satan said he's walking up and down. Those spirits, like that murder spirit, adultery spirit, stealing.
It says babes will be having babes to stop human beings having sex with animals.
So babes will be having babes.
In Revelations, it says babes will be having babes. Yeah, thou shall not fornicate. Yeah,
Right.
and when they got the understanding of
Right.
fornication,
Right.
that's when they did Revelations added on to the Bible. Yeah,
I don't know about that,
and
but
that's why.
read on. I don't know about that, but read on.
Babes should be
Verse
having
8.
to stop
And the
having
Lord
sex
said
with
unto
animals.
Satan, hast thou
Yeah?
considered my
Human
servant
beings,
Job?
animal, innit?
Hold on. Now
Yeah.
God said unto, so what's your
That's
name?
true, isn't it?
What's your name?
Marley.
Marley. So now,
That's true, isn't it?
God said unto
Yeah, there's
Satan,
books.
have you
Scientific
considered
books
Job?
about it.
So Marlene, if you come and say, I want to fear God, and I'm going to do what he said, I'm not going to do evil, God can say, have you considered Marlene, read?
That there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man,
Someone that keeps the commandments.
one that feareth God and escheweth evil.
But guess what can happen, read?
Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for now?
Read?
Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side?
Read. So Satan's talking to God now, saying, listen, you protected this person, read?
Thou hast blessed the work of his hand,
But what's going to happen?
and
read?
his substance is increased in the land.
Read.
But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath.
Take away his riches, take away his livelihood,
There's
kill his
factual
children and what?
things, yeah?
And he will cast thee
Documentaries,
to thy
films,
face.
yeah?
But Job didn't. He endured that
certain
temptation.
things, yeah?
So that's what you must do, my sister. That's what we must do. We must keep the commandments
try to
and endure
rewrite
unto the
history.
end.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
His word! His word!